All right. Let me go pay for my own admission.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Abington Service Summit. Folks over at the door, if you'd stay on duty, I know we have more people coming. Most of you know why we're here. We'll get into that in a minute. But for now, the Lions Club is hosting tonight, and when we have our meeting, we have a little procedure we do to open the meeting. So I'd like to ask you all please to stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next thing we do during our meetings, I'm actually doing an abbreviated version tonight, but the next thing is we have a verse of America that we all sing together, but tonight you're in luck because I'm not going to make you sing. Abington Lion Jimmy Foley, would you mind coming up here? Lion Jimmy will sing the first verse of America for us.
Our country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. They will be asking you to come to their clubs now. The next thing we do is we have a little toast that we start our meetings with. Some of you are familiar with it. Most of you probably have never seen it. I'd like to ask you all to hold hands around your table. And our toast is very simple. It's a toast that describes how we treat each other. It goes just like this. Not above you, not beneath you, but with you. And that's all it is. We're all equal in service. We're going to have dinner in a couple of minutes. I have some brief opening comments, and then we'll go right into the dinner if they are ready. I think they are. Opening remarks. Good evening and welcome to the first Abington Service Summit. I would like to begin. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you can sit down. No, get up. Wayne, you get up. Everybody else sit down. I would like to begin by thanking Emerald Hall and Lisa Mastrangelo for hosting us this evening. She has donated the hall for our purposes this evening. Lisa will be out in a little while to introduce herself and let you all see what she looks like. I'd also like to thank the membership of the Abington Lions Club. I see them scattered around the room in a few different spots. They gave up their regular meeting night tonight so that we could have this summit. We do a lot of business at our meetings, and it's really difficult to do this, so I really appreciate your indulgence by letting us try this experiment. Many people ask why we needed this summit tonight. The reasons are many, but I'd like to name a few of them right now. With a small town comes limited resources for us to draw on. Many small businesses in town have expressed that they are overwhelmed by requests for aid. Every small business in town tells me they have 50 to 70 people come to them throughout the year asking them to make a donation, and for a lot of them that is quite a hardship. Hopefully tonight we'll be able to figure out some tricks that will alleviate some of that pressure on them. In part, this meeting will work to show the small businesses in town that we, the people in this room tonight, are the hometown groups. While many other groups work outside of our geographic borders, we work within our borders. We spend money within our borders, and we strive to make life better within our borders. Those others may be noble causes, but they're not within our borders. We are within the borders. We are Abington service people. When we begin to plan our events today, we have no idea what other groups are planning and on what date. But tomorrow, we hope to see the beginnings of a system that will allow us to see what other groups are planning and on what dates they are planning it. This will prevent the scheduling mishaps that occur from time to time. A perfect example why we need this planning is in the month of September, this year, next month, there are 4 golf tournaments within 5 days of each other being sponsored by Abington service organizations. That's far too many to a town of our size to sustain. So Wayne Nolan from the town hall, the town administrator, is going to come up. He's going to be our first speaker. He's going to give us a solution to that. And it's something very exciting that I'm really looking forward to hearing about. Next thing, I drive livery service. I had a passenger in my car just yesterday, and she gave me permission to share some of the conversation that we had. What she does is she works for Harvard Divinity School. Her job there is to make sure the donors and the patrons are kept happy. So she's in fundraising, which all of us in this room at one time or another have to deal with. When I found out what her job was, I told her about this summit we were having. She was very excited to hear about it. And she shared with me that Harvard University, a couple of years ago, did the exact same thing that we're trying to do tonight. Harvard University is made up of literally dozens and dozens of individual colleges. Their endowment, currently their endowment is at $33.2 billion. Well, Harvard figured out that all these colleges were fighting for the same money. So they set up a central calendar, and they have centralized all of their fundraising, and since that day, their numbers have skyrocketed. They say everything runs smoother, everything is much more genial, there is no bickering amongst groups, and hopefully, well, let's face it, if it's good enough for Harvard, it's good enough for Abington, isn't it? Yeah, someone said yeah. And finally, as soon as we're done, I'm going to ask you to proceed to the buffet. Once everyone gets settled down a little bit, we're going to start our speakers. Wayne Nolan will be the first one, and then everybody, when you signed in, you put your name in a basket. Well, the batting order tonight is going to be determined by the order that your name is pulled out of that basket. When your name is pulled out, you'll be the next speaker. So if you're on deck, please be prepared. And you'll be eating while we're talking up here. Every group is going to be allowed to talk if they wish to. You'll be eating while they're talking. Please be respectful and try and keep the noise down so everybody can be heard. And finally, and this is especially for you, Wayne Smith of the Abington Lions, the time limit for your talk. Because of the group size of the group, we have to limit it to 3 to 5 minutes. I know you're going to be at the 5-minute mark. I do have a bell up here, and I will give it a slight tap when you hit your 3-minute mark. That gives you a 2-minute warning. So please try to be respectful of others and not go over your line. Kim, do you know if they're ready for the food?
I believe so, sir.
And Kim, by the way, is the bartender this evening. The bar is over in the corner. She will be here as long as we need her. Please remember to tip. If you all want to make a mass rush to the food, now would be the time to do that. I'm not joking. Go.
Right out. Good. You've had a hard time.
Lion Wayne, has your table gotten your food yet? Okay, I'm just trying to get a feel here. While you're all waiting in line for the food, I want to make a couple of announcements. You all got a raffle ticket for a door prize on your way in. I don't know if they told you what the door prize was. I'm going to keep it a surprise in case they didn't tell you. We also have Abington Lion Karen. Would you mind standing up, Karen? The blonde bombshell over there. She is selling 50-50 raffle tickets. We're going to do it a little bit different than 50-50 though. 50% of the money we raise for that raffle will go to the person holding the winning ticket. The other 50% will be split in half. 25% to the Abington Lions and 25% to the charity of the winner's choice. So if it's your charity, choose the Lions. I won't argue. And Wayne, I know you have some very critical business. Would you like to speak while people are still in line? Wayne Nolan is the IT person for our town, and behind the scenes, you may not know it, but there is a critical emergency going on in Town Hall with the computers right now. Wayne has come out to educate us even while the town crumbles around us. I know he'll make it right. But before I give it to him, I have one quick thing to remind you all. 3 to 5 minute time period for your talks. And if anybody has a question during the talks, on each table there are a few index cards. If you would kindly write down any question you have, hold on to the card. Later on, near the end of the evening, we're going to ask you to hold the cards up, and we're going to send some lines around to collect those cards. We will ask the questions of the group that you have a question for at that time. It's just for continuity. If we stop for questions for each speaker, we won't get out of here until next Thursday. So please cooperate that way. And with nothing else, here is Wayne Nolan, the IT Director for Abington, Massachusetts.
How you doing? So, yeah, I'm fighting a really bad virus now at the town hall, so I get to speak first. So the town is in the process of implementing a new website. I don't know if you've been on our website right now, it's kind of old. So with the new website, we're going to set up a community calendar where everybody that wants to can have their own individual login and password, and you can post your own events on the calendar. So once the website's up and running, I'll send out an email. If you want to go to the existing website and sign up for their news and notices on the e-message, I'll send out a message saying the new website's up and running, and you can contact me, and I'll give out the new passwords and usernames. So that way there will be no confusion, no overlaps on golf tournaments or anything like that. It's probably going to be another month to 6 weeks before it's implemented, so it's in the process of being developed. So that's about it. Do you have any questions? Or?
You can take questions for your part.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Anybody have a question about it? Pretty straightforward. So
I have a question. Have you checked with Mr. LaFond? Is it okay that we do this?
yes, I checked with Rick, and he said that's no problem. And currently, if you want to post something on the calendar, you have to contact his secretary, and then she posts everything. So this will free up her to do other things. So everybody will have their own responsibility for their own posting.
Everybody will have their own individual sign-in.
Yes, and somebody can't modify somebody else's posting, so if somebody already has a part of their schedule, you can't delete theirs or something. So,
Excellent. Thank you very much.
question? All right.
Question over here.
With all the individual sign-ins and without the secretary having to go through things, who's there to monitor inappropriate posts? Or are we going to be trusted?
We'll probably be trusted, and if you post something inappropriate and I find out, I'll delete you. So, besides that,
Somebody keep an eye on that guy. I think he's in trouble.
what group do you in?
I don't want to announce it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Wayne. If you folks in line wouldn't mind letting Wayne get to the front of the line, because he does have to leave. Oh, he's not eating, never mind. Okay, thank you very much for coming, Wayne. We'll give a few more minutes for the people in line to progress before we stop the speakers. I think we can get started while the line is finishing up over there. Just so happens the first speaker, I think, is all done eating. Can I get Jim Coughlin to come up? He's going to speak to us about Abington Education Foundation.
Attaboy, Jim.
And just so you know, the next speaker is going to be Aaron Sellers, talking about John Cutter Lodge, which is the Masons. Jim, you want to be behind or in front?
Thank you, Ted. Before I get started, I'd like to recognize someone that's in the room, Mr. Bill Davis, right back there. If anybody doesn't know who Bill Davis is, he is Mr. Abington Cable TV. He is at every event in town, all the sporting events. He comes to the AEF annual meeting, videotapes that for us, and puts it on cable, so. And he does it all for nothing. He volunteers totally, and he's a great guy. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. I thought you weren't supposed to ask any questions during the course of my 5 minutes. Thank you, Ted. In Ted's opening statements, he mentioned about keeping things in the borders of Abington, and pretty much that's the epitome of the Abington Education Foundation. We are a group that was started by the state years ago, probably 20, 22 years ago. Every town has an education foundation. Back when Jack Ahern was the superintendent, now Peter Schaefer, we work closely with the school department. Pretty much we are an independent board made up of Abington residents. We generate fundraising dollars during the course of the year, and then we turn around and we give the money back to the school systems in the form of mini grants, which pretty much go through paying for enrichment programs for a lot of the kids in the schools. On the tables, I put down a little golf letter that was on each table. On the back of the golf letter with the 3 pictures is a listing of the grants we awarded last year. Total of $20,305. We actually gave another $4,000 or $5,000 in additional grants that came our way during the course of the year. All the money we raise goes into the school system, and it's all within the borders. And lastly, we are one of these people that have the golf tournament on September 15th at Riverbend. Again, leaflets are on your table if you're so inclined. I know the Adams family is also having a golf tournament that day, as well as the Kaylee Sullivan Memorial Fund is having a golf tournament that day as well. So there's a lot of things going on. One of the grants that I'd like to talk about for a second on the sheet was last September up at the high school we had a program about alcohol poisoning. A lady from California who lost her daughter to alcohol poisoning is now roaming the country talking about her experiences and what happened with her daughter. All 600 kids in the high school saw the presentation by the mother and the father about what the effects of alcohol poisoning does, and told the story and hopefully connected with a couple kids in a sense of what to do. If someone passes out, that means call 911. Don't use a magic marker and paint funny things on their face and so forth. And that's what happened to her daughter. She passed out, kids thought it was funny, they mocked her, they did things, they took pictures, and then a couple hours later she died because everybody thought it was a joke. And those are the types of programs that we like to pay for, and we encourage the teachers to present to the students in the school system. A year ago, one of the programs for the high school, we had Chris Herron, who is a former basketball player with the Boston Celtics, who's had numerous drug addictions. He came and spoke to the high school students in the gymnasium. Again, 600 kids in the gymnasium, and you could hear a pin drop with the speech about all of his life experiences using drugs. And as Chris Herron said it, all I do is hope to reach one kid today. If I can keep one kid from trying that marijuana cigarette, if I could have one kid to stay away from heroin or OxyContin and so forth, that was what his goal was. And It was a movie presentation that is still talked about by the teachers at the high school. So we pretty much, we have the golf tournament in September. We have a trivia night, much to the chagrin of the Abington Green Bay Boosters, who also have a trivia night. We try to have ours in the fall at some point. We also run a 5th grader event, which I know that some of the parents here, their child, when they were in 5th grade, they attended the event up at the Folio School, which is usually a family game. It's a game night where the 5th graders have a Jeopardy or Family Feud type of game process. And we also have a fundraiser during the course of the year with we did this year around the Kentucky Derby in May, was a night at the races, which was fairly successful. So we usually have 4 fundraisers a year. We hope to generate at least $20,000, $25,000 a year, so that we pretty much pour all the money back into the system and into the schools and into the enrichment programs. As of right now, most of the schools have started their process of submitting grants, and we will meet in September and award grants for this upcoming year. At our golf tournament last year, we had one of our sponsors showed up, and we had this listing on all of their tables at the golf tournament, and she golfs in a lot of tournaments, and she said this was the first charity tournament that she ever golfed in that actually told you where the money went. So this is where the money goes, and there's no hiding where the money goes. This is where it goes. I'd like to understand where the money goes in all the other organizations as well tonight, because as the AEF, we do keep it within our borders. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you very much.
And the next one up is the Masons from the John Carter Lodge, Aaron Sellers. After Aaron, go ahead, give him a round of applause. After Aaron will be Jack Porcello. Porcello, Porcello?
Porcello.
Yeah, what he said, from the Greenway Boosters. For now, here's Aaron.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aaron Sellers. I represent John Cutler Lodge of Abington. We are a Masonic organization that has been serving the community of Abington's for 155 years now. Masonry in general, we give away about $3 million a year in donations for charitable organizations. Most of that comes from the Shriners. Shriners are Masons. We have several different organizations within the group. Our particular lodge we get involved in many things. I'm scrambling because I forgot my notes, but we get involved in many things. And some of the organizations and fundraising, you guys have probably seen us at the American Red Cross Blood Drive for Abington. We donate the breakfast at the Knights of Columbus. We meet with, every 8 weeks, we take the Brockton VA, we take the vets down to church service. So we do an 8-week rotation with the other lodges in our district. Our district is made up of about 8 lodges. One of our other organizations we get involved with, which is very important to the community, we call the Angel Fund. And this Angel Fund is generally meant to work with the schools of Abington and Rockland in this case. And we work with the nurses. And if there's a child in need of glasses, a coat, shoes, whatever the child needs, the nurses are instructed to give us a call. Without any hesitation, we go take care of what that need is. We don't want to know the child, we don't want to know the family, we don't want to know the situation. We just donate the money, she takes care of it, and we move forward. So we usually do, my Angel Fund guys, so we run about $3,000 to $4,000 a year in just doing that. We've given probably $10,000 away in just charitable donations in the last several months. There was a family who lost a house here recently. He was a brother Mason. We donated some funds to them. We had a young lady in the community who had an issue with her animal. She couldn't get medication, she couldn't get surgery for it. We helped her out. And we had another member of the community whose father had passed away, and we helped them out with some of those funeral costs as well. That's really pretty much it. There's probably some questions which I won't get into. We can do those afterwards. But turn back over to Ted.
Aaron's selling his time. The next one up is Green Wave Boosters with Jack. Round of applause for him. And after Jack will be Rosie Walls for the Friends of the Abington Library. Here you go, Jack.
Thank you very much, Ted. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Lions for putting this summit together. I think it's a great opportunity for us to, as volunteer organizations, to see each other all in one place and to have the opportunity to, in some ways, coordinate our efforts so that we're not duplicating, we're not stepping on each other's toes. We're trying to make the best of the limited resources within this town that are available to us. As I said, my name is Jack Pichello. I'm the current president of the Abington Green Wave Boosters. Accompanying me tonight is the rest of the executive board, Vice President Clem Leary, Treasurer Janice Abitangelo, and Secretary Donna Porcello. The boosters have been in place since sometime in the early 80s. The main goal of boosters was to support Abington High School athletics. And back in the heyday, that involved having banquets, sports banquets, buying varsity jackets to give to the athletes who have earned them. Recent years, however, with the budget cuts that we all went through, the role has changed, and Boosters is now tasked with the awesome responsibility of funding all sub-varsity athletics, all freshman sports, all junior varsity sports. We do get some help from a couple of the other groups in town, the Hoop Group namely, and the Gridiron Club. But the sub-varsity sports at the high school are running upwards of $20,000 a year. If you've watched some of the varsity sports at the high school, you'll understand how important those sub-varsity sports are. We have some wonderful championship teams up at the high school, some very high caliber play. And it's made possible because of the JV athletes that we have. And it's an honor to be able to allow them to continue to play. We do have some fundraisers as well. Our biggest one is actually coming up September 28th, and that's our door-to-door drive, and I'm sure you're all familiar with that. We have upwards of 100 students participating, and somewhere around 40 to 50 adults driving these students to the different routes in town. They'll come up to your door, give a little knock and say, can you help us out with some money? It is one of the biggest fundraisers that we have, and it probably raises, I'd say, a third to a half of the money that we need each year. We also have started last year, a couple of years ago, our Booster Bash, right around Halloween. It started off just as a fun costume party, and it's turned into a fun fundraiser. We also, last year we took on the long-standing Christmas trees at Bailey's Garage. So that starts just after Thanksgiving. So if you need a Christmas tree, come on down to Bailey's and grab one. Help out, again, the Abington Boosters. And yes, Jim, we do have a trivia night. This year it's scheduled for March 21st. And I think the Boosters was actually first with it. It's a fun, exciting night, and I'm sure a lot of these groups have been here. I know the Lions normally have a table there. And it's a fun night. And I would encourage you, get a team together, come on out, have some fun with it. One of the other things that the Boosters do is we run the concession stands at all the home football and basketball games. So when you, at that football game, you come down and grab yourself a burger or a dog, the money raised there goes right back into the Boosters program. We have Green Wave Gear, which we're hoping this year to get an online site, so that even if you're not at one of the games, you'll still be able to go online, find a shirt that you like, find a jacket that you like, and go ahead and purchase one of those. And that money, too, goes right back into the Boosters. So Jim had mentioned, where does that funding go? That's exactly where it goes. We're still funding sub-varsity sports. We're still helping to fund the varsity jackets. We are there when our championship teams are going for an away game and we want to pack the place. We'll get a call from the athletic director who says, I want to put a bus together. And we go for it. We'll help to fund that bus so we can get our fans going to all of these games and supporting our Abington High School athletes. I'd like to also thank all the current and former Booster members for their dedication and their time, because they've paved the way for the rest of us, and they've showed us what's important and what needs to be done to keep this community alive and vibrant. Thank you very much.
A lot of information in there that I didn't know. That's That's always good. Rosie Walls, you're up next. And after Rosie, who's going to come up here to a rousing round of applause, Abington Fireworks. Donna, you ready for this? Rosie, here you go. Rosie's with the Friends of the Abington Library.
Correct. I'm president of Friends of the Abington Public Library. And public library service in the town of Abington began in 1878 with 2 branches. One was in the old Abington Mutual Fire Insurance building up at Center, and several homes in Abington up north until Webster Wales gave up space in his parlor in his Adams Street home. Just a little history of the town. The Abington Public Library serves the community as its primary information resource. It provides recreational reading, listening, and viewing materials and programs for all age groups, from the youngest children, very youngest, to senior citizens. It provides access to a resource-sharing network, the internet, and has vibrant online presence, encouraging virtual use. We are a member of the Old Colony Library Network, a cooperative of 28 South Shore libraries. And valid cardholders of the Abington Public Library are eligible to use any of the resources of those 28 members of the OCLN. The Friends of the Library is a nonprofit organization of concerned citizens who believe that a dynamic library is a vital cultural, educational, and recreational resource in our community. We meet monthly from September through June. The next Friends of the Library meeting is Monday, September 8th at 10 a.m. And most of our meetings are either the first or the second Monday of the month. Our major fundraisers are the annual fall membership drive, which is a mailing drive. And about 5 years ago, we said, well, I had this brilliant idea. Let's canvass the town and send everyone an invitation to join the Friends of the Library. It was just so overwhelming. We said, well, let's get back to reality. Let's just do a precinct at a time. So we're now working on the old 4th precinct. So if you live in the old 4th precinct, you'll be getting what we used to have, these orange envelopes that we would make by ourselves and glue them and send to people. And now we have a very professional looking envelope for your invitation to join the Friends of the Abington Public Library. We have an annual book sale in April, and we have revenues from the sale of the Abington items in our, well, it's not really a boutique, but we have some shelves in the library. We are also a beneficiary of memorial gifts. So when people have passed away, they say, well, I want my money to go to, instead of flowers, in lieu of that, we'll send it to the library, Friends of the Library. This year we're fortunate to be a part of a unique community fundraiser thanks to the Lions Club, who are spearheading 1 million pennies for the library. And you may have noticed donation buckets around the town, including the library, and the $10,000 will be used to modernize our audio-visual system, wow, already? In the Copeland Room, which is home to many public presentations and meetings, and to add to a large print collection, iPads for the teen room and adult section of the library. And we can't thank the Lions Club enough for this penny drive. Thank you so much. Annual Friends membership dues are $10 for a single member, $15 for family. And if so inclined, with a donation of $25 or more, you can become a super friend. And we're twice blessed because some of our donations have at work you can have a matching donor program, so they'll match what you give to the Friends. And we provide materials, programs not funded through the library budget. And the Friends underwrite toddler time, story hours, summer reading program, tweens and teens programs, book discussion groups for adults and kids. And we also provide a rental collection of best-selling books, an everyday book sale, and we also sponsor passes to the Easton Children's Museum, Fuller Craft Museum, JFK Library and Museum, Museum of Fine Arts, Museum of Science, Plymouth Plantation, Roger Williams Park Zoo, Heritage Museum and Gardens in Sandwich, Blagwald Mansion in Bristol, Rhode Island, and I hope I say this, the Massachusetts State Parks Parking Pass, almost said it. So visit the library. It's a beautiful, welcoming, comfortable community gathering place, and partake of a program for yourself, your children, your grandchildren, free of charge, no cost. Your public library is one of the best bargains in town. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rosie. That was very well said. While you were talking, I dug out my library card. Does everybody in the room have one? Then you're all friends of the Abington Lions. I'm sorry. I hope you're friends of the Lions. You're all friends of the Abington Library. Next up is Donna, who has a brand new group. Come on up, Donna. Donna's group is trying, I'm going to let her tell you what they're doing, but it's very exciting, and I hope we get a lot of support for her. You get a big bang out of her thing, sure. And after her will be Justin from the Abington Fire Department and Jeff from Brockton Hospital with some very exciting news. Good luck.
Good evening. As he said, we're a very, very new committee that we're just getting started. We kind of thought this would be a great way to get ourselves out there and maybe get some help from other organizations as well to kind of guide us in the right direction to get us where we need to be. We're the Fireworks Committee. We're the Abington Fireworks Committee. The last time there was any fireworks here was in 2007, and since then, the skies over the Burley have been dark every year on July 3rd. We're a small group, and we want to change that. We want to bring the fun and tradition to the Abington people in the hopes that this will continue for many generations. I know I miss it. I know that my children have yet to even be able to enjoy them. The last time was just after my first was born. So we're talking 7 years old, hasn't been to a great fireworks. We have great new ideas, fresh and new ideas for the event and for fundraising. Our costs are looking to be about $45,000, and that's kind of a give or take. It's very generalized. We have the police and the fire department supporting us. We also have many citizens of Abington that are clearly supporting us from what we can see through Facebook and any other places that we've been and talked to people about it. We're working on getting a treasurer in place. We actually have somebody, we lost the one that we originally had due to a family illness. We're also working on possibly getting a tax ID that's kind of questioned right now, and a P.O. box and opening an account at Abington Bank. We would like to contact local businesses to help us fund our project. And we're planning to be as transparent as possible. We realize that in the past there were some issues. We would perhaps be sending out quarterly reports of all of our spending, and we want to have a kickoff event. And the kickoff event that we're going to try to do is we're going to invite the entire town to create our logo. We have our name, we're the Abington Fireworks Committee. What we need now is a logo. We'd like to make it a contest, and we're going to come up with the parameters of that as well and get that out there. I don't have too much more to say. I said we're very new. We've only met a couple of times. We're forming ourselves, but we need people. We need bodies. If you or anybody you know would like to join us, we're going to put our next meeting date out there, and we'd love for anybody to join us. We're meeting at the town hall when we do meet.
Dawn, you still have time left. Would you like to say how they can get in touch with you?
Absolutely. You can get in touch with us. Actually, you can get in touch with us. We have an email address. It's abingtonfireworks@yahoo.com. And that goes directly to me and to Carol, who's helping me with the funding, with the committee at this point. We also have a Facebook page. There was a group. We are canceling the group. So the Facebook page, all you need to do is like it. It's Bring Back Abington Fireworks, or Abington Mass Fireworks, Abington Fireworks. So if you like that page, we're going to be updating that page as well.
Very good job. Very good, Dawn. Thank you. I'd like to point out, Donna, this is the first time you've done anything like this, isn't it? Doing a tremendous job already. Justin and Jeff, are you on your way to the front of the room, or are you going to talk from over there?
No, we're just bringing that device up here.
All right. After Justin and Jeff will be Wayne Smith from the Abington Lions. While they're on their way up here, I just want to point out, Justin and Steve, what they have with them tonight is, most of you don't know about it yet, but it's very critical to what we're doing here tonight. Later on this evening, we're going to explain how we're going to make this project happen, and it involves every one of you in this room, and many of you who are not in the room but are home watching on cable television. It's very exciting, though. I didn't know it came with an erector set, though. All right, here's Justin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, my name is Justin Self. I'm one of the paramedics for the Abington Fire Department. I've been with the fire department now for about 5 years. And what myself and Jeff Miller here, who's the fundraising coordinator for Brockton Hospital, came to speak to you guys tonight about is CPR and the Lucas 2 device. Brockton Hospital has approached a lot of the communities around, including Abington, about raising money, fundraisers, to purchase these devices called the Lucas 2. Now, what the Lucas 2 is it's an automated CPR device. It takes, you watched me set it up, it took about 5 seconds to set up. Essentially, this device here will minimize interruptions in CPR almost to zero. We know a few things about CPR. The American Heart Association knows that it's critical. You cannot have interruptions during CPR. Every interruption you have during CPR, you're losing time, precious time to that patient. Every time you're off the chest not doing compressions, there's no blood flow to that patient's brain, which is very bad for their neurologic outcome after they get out of the hospital. So Brockton Hospital approached us, and we're approaching different fundraising organizations, like some of the ones that you represent here tonight, to try to raise money to buy one of these devices. Everyone at your local fire department in Abington has already been trained on using the device. We have a 3-month period where we trialed one of these devices in town, and we had great success with it. One of our surrounding communities, Rockland, is using one right now, and they also have had great success with it. What I mean by success is positive patient outcomes after sudden cardiac arrest. Patient loses a pulse because they have a heart attack. This device can be at their side in 5 minutes. It's on in less than 5 seconds, and it'll do CPR the entire time, including when we're extricating the person out of the house, which is where we tend to lose a lot of our patients, which is unfortunate. So as you saw me come up here and just set it up, you just press an on button, down, onto the patient's chest. The machine doesn't get tired, the battery lasts for an hour, and it is so much better for the patient. It's quality compressions the entire time the machine is on. During the extrication, when we're bringing them out to the ambulance, when we're carrying them down the stairs, out onto the stretcher, into the hospital, the machine's not giving up. And it also gives a huge safety support for the firefighters and the paramedics in the ambulance. We're doing, 50 miles an hour down Route 18, standing in the back of the ambulance, unrestrained, and somebody text messaging cuts us off in the ambulance. We all go flying. I've got personal friends who had career-ending injuries in situations like that, and injuries to firefighters cost the town an awful lot of money to fill that position and for the workman's comp and stuff like that. This will reduce firefighter injuries, and more important than that to us at the fire department is patient survival and outcome. And I'm just going to have Jeff talk a little bit about Brockton Hospital, what they're actually doing for the fundraising aspect of it, and how you can get in touch with Brockton Hospital, your fundraising organization, and stuff like that.
Thank you. So I was approached about 3 months ago by a physician in our emergency department who said, there's some new technology out there. We have to do our part to try and get this technology into the ambulances in the EMS hands out in the community. Just so happened that about a month after that, a member of the Abington Rotary Club, who's also a member of our foundation board, approached me and said, the Abington Rotary Club is looking for a project to partner with the hospital where we can raise some money to help the community. It just made sense to us that here was an opportunity to help the citizens of the communities served by Brockton Hospital, and especially the first one being Abington. So Dan Hughes, our physician, reached out to Justin and said, what can we do? How can we get this started? So last month we went to the Rotary Club of Brockton and did an official presentation to them, and they are all on board and they want to help us raise money for this. These units cost around $15,000, and we're looking to put one in the ambulance here in Abington. So basically, I know Ted has an idea that he wants to talk about for some fundraising, but we're just looking for some community support. I'm actually looking at different foundations to see if we can find some support for some grants, and also talking to some business leaders, not just in Abington, but throughout the community. Once we get one in Abington, we want to move this to like 20 towns and cities that are covered by the service area for Brockton Hospital. So it's going to be a big undertaking, but we just save one life in each community. It's going to be well worth the money. So I have a handout that you can take on the way out, and if you want to get in touch with me, just call the number that's on the sheet there and ask for me. My name is Jeff Miller. Thank you.
Jeff and Justin, thank you very much. It was very informative. Before you walk away, though, I have a challenge. Jeff mentioned that I had an idea for a fundraiser for this project. I'm going to take host privilege here and talk for a minute. I think this is a very worthy project, and it's a lot of money. $15,000 per town to get one unit is a lot of money. I've been assured that it's definitely worth it, so we want to figure out a way to do it. Justin and I put our heads together and we came up with an idea. And here's the challenge. It goes out to everybody in this room and everybody sitting at home watching on cable and everybody that you know in town. I want you to spread this challenge. We are going to set up sometime in September, correct? Sometime in September, so very quickly, we're going to set up a canoe relay race on the pond at Island Grove. We're going to charge admission for the boats, but we're not going to make $15,000 that way. We'd have to charge too much. So what we're going to do is we're going to start taking book on the race. You bet on which team you think wins, and we'll see how we pay you. We might pay you in M&Ms, but we'll figure it out. We're hoping this one fundraiser can get 50% of the money needed for this project. So I hope you all take the challenge. You can reach out to the Abington Lions at abingtonmalions.org. I'm sorry, abingtonmalions@hotmail.com, and tell us if you want a canoe in this race. It should be tons of fun. The foliage will just start to be turning, so it'll be very pretty out there. I see a lot of photo ops, and look at Kelso running away already. He's not interested. So the challenge is out there. Jeff and Justin, thank you very much, and I hope you have a canoe yourselves. Lion Wayne Smith, you are next. And after Lion Wayne Smith is our own Christy Coombs for the Jeff Coombs Foundation. Lion Wayne, I'm starting the clock now.
I figured you would. Lions Club International was founded in 1917 in Chicago with no particular direction to go in other than a business-oriented service organization until 1925, when a blind and deaf woman named Helen Keller asked the Lions to take up her cause of sight and hearing. We did, and I think that's why we are the largest service organization in the world. The Abington Lions Club was founded in 1955. The Lions of Massachusetts started Massachusetts Lions Eye Research Fund in 1951. A blind grandson of a lion had been born with baby blindness. Massachusetts Lions said, we have to stop this from happening. With a $5,000 grant, the reason was discovered: too much oxygen in the incubator. Thousands today can see, with this one research grant by the Lions of Massachusetts. Believe it or not, the problem still is being researched at Children's Hospital with one of our grants because babies are being kept alive, weighing only 1.25 pounds, 5 sticks of butter, if you please. Quite a feat when eyes are the last to develop before birth. If you ask the world where the #1 eye research, eye care center in the world is, they will tell you one place, Boston, Massachusetts. And if you ask the researchers there, they will tell you because of the Lions of Massachusetts. Why? Because we give initial funds for new research ideas that are not funded by National Institutes of Health, pharmaceutical companies, or others. That funding only comes after the initial research shows promise. As an example, one such grant was to Scapin's Eye Research Institute, how to stop blinding our military in battle from blasts from explosions. With a grant of $250,000 from Lions, preliminary research showed promise. The Department of the Army saw this research and gave Scapin's $20 million to do further research. Dr. Leibowitz at BU Medical said the Lions of Massachusetts have had a hand in most all eye research breakthroughs throughout the world. Dr. Scapin said the new discoveries would not be made by Nobel laureates, but by young researchers. And Dr. Hunter at Children's said, without the Lions of Massachusetts, young scientists would not have the opportunity to do research. They would have no funds to start their ideas. We give them hope to be researchers, much as we do people losing their sight. Today, Lions of Massachusetts give $1 million a year in grants through Mass Lions Eye Research Fund. The Abington Lions have raised over $220,000 since its founding for this fund. Sight affects all of us, our immediate families in many cases, and quite often ourselves. I can tell you someone in this room today can see because of that's the 3, right? I hope. So that person can see with macular degeneration. In the late 1900s, we funded one of those projects, and there's shots that they give in their eye, and he can still drive. Locally, we supply fuel to the needy, eye exams and glasses, operations to save sight, youth programs, special needs, library pass to Children's Museum, large print books, high school students to Lions All-State Band, hearing aids, youth exchange, I could go on. Over the years, the Abington Lions bought the first ambulance, lighted the field behind Folio School, a rescue boat, and a baby incubator for the fire department. Planted many trees in town, cleaned up parks and roadways, cameras for the police department, eye screening for preschool children, high school band uniforms, helped cover Boy Scouts, soccer trips to England, I could go on. Internationally, we support Lions Club's International Foundation. It supplies disaster relief, Sight First programs, and helping people. And projects include 9/11, the Lions supplied at 4 warming stations in New York, and a camp for the children that were affected from this tragedy, and those are families affected, and they still do. Hurricane relief in Louisiana, New York, New Jersey, Japan, China, Philippines, floods, earthquakes, and so forth throughout the world. Sight First, providing operations, glasses, and the gift of sight. We partner with Johnson & Johnson with Sight for Kids, screening and preventing blindness and supplying glasses. The Perkins Schools, so blind people can go to school and learn throughout the world. Dylan Lear Vision Program aids to allow people to see. Lions Quest, 1 through 12th grade, teaching students to have self-esteem and take care of their health. One Shot, One Life to eradicate measles with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And the Graylor Alliance. The Graylor gets vaccines to people preventing polio, measles, rubella, and other diseases. The Chaudhry Foundation to help people start business and become self-sustaining. I have just touched the service in less than 5 minutes. But as individuals, this would not happen. It takes all of us as Lions. In the process, we make lifetime friends, and most rewarding feeling in the process. If I were to tell you if you were to tell me I could no longer be a Lion, I would be devastated. We as a group make a difference. We serve.
In Lions defense, there's no way to say everything the Lions does in 5 minutes. He did a great job, trust me, he could have went for another hour. Christy Coombs is up next, followed by spokesperson for Lisa Mastrangelo, Chris.
Thank you, Ted. Thanks for putting this together. This was a great idea, and it's good to be in the room with everybody who's doing wonderful things so we can see who each other is. I represent the Jeff Coombs Memorial Foundation, a nonprofit I founded with my kids back in 2001 after my husband and their father was killed in the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Our reach goes far and wide across Massachusetts with a special focus on Abington. I would challenge you to, whether or not you know somebody locally who has not been helped by the Jeff Coombs Memorial Foundation. The kinds of things that we do are, if somebody is challenged financially by death or illness, we help with funeral expenses, we help with medical bills, we will buy gift cards to area restaurants to help them through their medical treatments, to help them after they lose somebody in the family. Having been there, I know the kinds of things that help a family when they're going through grief. And we help beyond the 2 weeks when people are there after they lose somebody. We're not a last resort for people, but we do things for people that other organizations don't do. And I think one of the good things about the Jeff Coombs Foundation is we work with the other organizations in town. We work with the Hug Foundation. If I find a family that needs some assistance and we can't do everything that they need, we'll reach out to the Hug Foundation, we'll reach out to St. Vincent de Paul, we'll reach out to the new organization, the Sergeant Danny Vasilian Fund. We'll reach out to whatever organization is there that can help other families, and we'll invite them to assist as well. And we answer the call from other organizations also. We're not in competition with anybody, whether it's our fundraiser or in helping people. We're there to work together with everyone. Some of the other things we do are, we've given out well in excess of $50,000 over the last 9 years in scholarships to Abington High graduates. There are some of the parents here, their children were recipients of our scholarship, and that's something that we're very proud of. The scholarships range from $250 to $1,000. We give away anywhere from 6 to 10 scholarships each year. We also help military families with a variety of things. One of the things that I'm most proud of that we really enjoy doing is we put together a holiday party. 3 times it's been at Gillette Stadium, 4 times it's been at a location in Foxborough. And it's a holiday party for military families who have somebody deployed through the holidays or have had somebody deployed through the year. It's just our way of saying thank you for your service, thank you for your sacrifice, and that is entirely free to the families. It costs us about $15,000 to put on, and we fundraise separately for it. It doesn't come out of the general fund of money that we raise from the road race, which brings me to the point of the road race. That's our biggest fundraiser. That's coming up in September. This year it's September 14th. We generally attract about 1,000 people. If anybody in this room hasn't been, you need to go because it's a real fun town event. It is one of the largest town community events that happen in this town, I think, if not the largest. It's going on its 13th year. It's at the Woodsdale School. There are forms around. They look like this. We invite you to sponsor. We invite you to participate. We have a lot of different organizations that will be there setting up a booth to let people know what they're there for. The only thing I ask is that you don't fundraise there because I said we're not in competition and we're not, but that is our one primary fundraiser, and that's the fundraiser that gets us through the rest of the year. So the Jeff Coombs Foundation, as I said, has been around 13 years. We're going strong. We get stronger every year, and we're there to help the town, and I hope you'll come out on September 14th to support the foundation because everything we do goes right back into the town and right back into families who need it across Massachusetts. Thanks. Here I am again. Okay, Erin Vasilian couldn't make it tonight, so she asked me to talk a little bit about the new foundation in town, the Sergeant Danny Vasilian Fund. As many of you know, Sergeant Vasilian was killed in Iraq 2 days before Christmas of 2013. It didn't take long at all for Erin to realize, Erin is Danny's wife, it didn't take long for Erin and her family and Danny's mom, Karen, to realize that they needed a place to put their grief, which is the same reason that we were founded. They need a positive place to put their grief, so they decided, because people were so good to them, to come up with a foundation in Danny's name. Now, the foundation will focus primarily on military families and fulfilling their needs in various ways. I called Erin yesterday when I heard of a military veteran who had died recently over the weekend, and they needed help with funeral expenses. So our foundation and the Danny Vasilian Foundation is going to help with that. So Erin is going to be working with various members of her family to contribute to military families across Massachusetts who need some kinds of assistance. The thing that they have coming up is also a road race, which we're working together on that as well, and that road race is going to be on Veterans Day. If you've ever attended the Abington Police road race in May, it's going to follow the same route, and it's going to begin and end from the parade route, I believe, if not the police station. So that's something that you can watch for on November 11th, is that Veterans Day? Whatever Veterans Day is. So they'll be there at our road race to take registrations and give information on it. And if I can, just very quickly, one thing I want to say is that our road race will be paying tribute to Sergeant Vasilian as well. Each year we pay tribute to somebody in Abington who unfortunately has passed in the last year that has been close to us or close to our foundation, and this year that unfortunately is Danny Vasilian. Thanks.
I'd like to take host privilege once again and say, Christy, thank you. You are what an Abingtonian should be. Thank you. Charlie, you're up next. Charlie is, I said call him Chris earlier, his name is Charlie. He's interchangeable, I guess. He's going to speak for Lisa Mastrangelo, who is in the kitchen washing dishes, and he's going to tell a little bit about what they do here at the hall. Next, after Charlie, is Ellen Winners.
Hi, my name's Charles. We're here at Emerald Hall in Miss Randall from the catering. We have 2 function halls available for any party you have. And we do our own ordering food here, full service catering and takeout. And we also do full service catering at any other venue and also at your house. Whatever the guest needs, we do for you. Also, we hope you think of us for your next function. And if you have any other questions, we have business cards at the table over there. If you guys have any questions, you can check out the website and give us a call in the office. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. That was the shortest 5 minutes of my life. Ellen, come on up. You're next. After Ellen will be Jim Coughlin coming to speak about the Hug Foundation. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Ellen Winners, and I am the Girl Scout coordinator here in Abington. Girl Scouts, as you know, is a girl leadership program. We're not necessarily a service program, though we do service as part of our program. Girl Scouts has been around for 102 years. Here in Abington, we have approximately 170 girl members, 29 leaders and assistant leaders, and 15 troops in town. Girl Scouts' mission is that we are building girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. We have one main fundraiser, and that, as everyone knows, is selling Girl Scout cookies. I did, I should have. I still have some. We here in town, between the 15 troops, sell somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 boxes of cookies. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but the Girl Scouts actually only make 60 cents a box. So that's roughly somewhere, you know, between $4,800 to $6,000 a year, but that's spread amongst the troops. So it really only averages maybe $300 a troop, if that, depending on how many girls you have in the troop selling. So we're pretty much a self-funded organization. Everything we do, we have to pay for ourselves. Other fundraisers you may see out there are mostly troop run. There are 3 different awards that girls can earn in Girl Scouts. The younger levels, juniors, they can earn their bronze award, and sometimes you might see an extra fundraiser going on. As older Girl Scouts, they can earn their silver award. We did have 3 girls in Abington earn their silver award last year. That's the first time since I've been involved over the past 10 years that we've had anyone earn their silver award. And then lastly is the gold award, which is, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's similar to becoming an Eagle Scout. And that would be something else that you would see private fundraising going on. In fact, we do have one girl in town who is currently attempting to work on her gold award project, and her goal, she's trying to work right now with the town. She's already worked with the family, and she wants to build a memorial to Sergeant Danny Vaselli. We also have the privilege this year of one of our Abington Girl Scouts being elected to the Girl Scouts of Eastern Mass Board of Directors, which is quite an honor. So that's pretty much what we're about. We're basically about empowering young girls to become powerful women. We do have a Facebook page. Feel free to like us. It's Abington Girl Scouts. And please support us by buying cookies. Thank you. I can't sing.
My sister's smiling because my mother was a scout leader. Ellen's going to use her time one way or the other. With an encore performance, we have Jim Coughlin coming up, this time speaking about HUG Foundation. HUG stands for, well, he'll tell you. And after that will be Alan Perry for the Michaela Fund. Jim, go for it.
Thank you, Ted, again. With 30 seconds of my AEF time, we would also like to thank AEF through Christy Coombs, through the Coombs Foundation, has also helped us over the years with many, many grants, and they've funded a lot of the programs at the school as well. So the Coombs Foundation, in addition to the scholarships, they also help through enrichment programs as well. So Christy does a great job throughout the entire school system. I'm here representing the HUG Foundation, which stands for Help Us Give. It was started a few years back by Alex and Lisa Bezanson, along with Brian and Jen Bezanson. I'm currently the treasurer, and there's local board members that are helping us with all our efforts. The reason for the HUG Foundation was that Alex, his sister, passed away about 4 or 5 years ago, and she had a long battle with cancer. And as Christy mentioned about the hidden costs of what goes on when there's an illness or there's something going on in a family, Alex realized that, you know, when someone's in the hospital, the cost for travel back and forth to the hospital, the cost of hotel rooms if it's a long distance, the cost for parking if you have to go visit a loved one that's in the hospital is a financial burden on a bunch of families. So that's what the initial HUG Foundation mantra was all about, was helping support families that have an illness and being able to help support them financially. We've also done a lot of different things as well over the past couple of years with, not like a Make-A-Wish, but there have been people who've been sick that have wanted to do things, and there's been concert tickets that someone who's been ill and wanted to go to a concert. We actually had 3 One Direction tickets donated to us within the last couple of days. And through our Facebook page, again, Help Us Give, Brian Bezanson put a message on the Facebook page that we had these 3 tickets, that if anybody knew of anybody that was in a financial crisis or in a need, that, you know, we'd help fulfill that need of their teenage daughters. And it just so happens that one of our Facebook friends knew of a family that the mother is currently undergoing chemotherapy and has a 12 and 14-year-old daughter that they don't have the ability to do that now with the mother being ill. So there's a relative who's bringing the two girls to the One Direction concert tomorrow evening. So those are the types of things. It's pretty all-encompassing of helping families, helping members that are in crisis through financial support and so forth. Recently, there was a young girl in Rockland who was undergoing, I think she needed a double lung transplant. And again, the financial support for the family to go into the hospital and visit and so forth, we supported them and so forth. So our main fundraisers are, there's a Bruins alumni game that's played in January at the Rockland rink. The Cashman family has been very good to us over the last few years, so a lot of the old-time Bruins guys come down. There's a hug team, pretty much. If you skate and you want to play in the hug team, get in touch with us. We ask all the players from Hug Foundation to generate $1,000 in donations to support their playing time and so forth. We also have a softball tournament, which we just had 2 weeks ago. Again, a lot of the Bruins alumni came down. Alex's sister was a huge Bruins fan. So after she passed the first couple events, actually in this hall, there were a couple Las Vegas nights that Bruins alumni helped, and the money that was raised was given to the Boston Bruins Foundation as part of a thank you for how kind they were to Alex's sister Linda. So, and then the next, Alex and Lisa decided to start the fund to give back to the local communities as well. One other thing with the relationship that they have with the Bruins alumni is they have access to a lot of Bruins alumni memorabilia. We have a lot of stuff available. So again, we would ask any, the Adams family, Michaela, we have a lot of inventory of various items that we'd be more than willing to give out to you for your golf tournaments, for your fundraisers, as auction and raffle items and so forth. So that's been something we've been doing for the last couple of years. So again, help us give, look for us on Facebook. And we've only been around for about 3 years now, but we're looking to help anybody in the town and local communities that need it. So thank you.
Thank you, Jim. That's been one action-packed 3 years that you guys have been involved. Jim, Michaela Fund is next, followed by Steve Chili from Adam Brothers Memorial Trust. These two kind of go together, don't they? I'd like to just point out before I hand the microphone over, there are tables around the perimeter of the room. A lot of literature from some of the organizations is on those tables, and I've been hanging out over at the bar. I can assure you all, Kim is still at the bar ready to serve you, and you can hear every word that they say up here from the bar area. Here you go.
Hi, my name is Aline Perry, and I'm with the Michaela Fund. The Michaela Fund is a teen suicide scholarship and awareness prevention fund. We do scholarships to help defray the cost of sports for kids in high school. We started it in 2012 when Michaela, who was 15, at Abington High committed suicide. Michaela was my dear friend's daughter, and I started helping out the fund because my son asked me, Mom, why did you do this? And I never want another mom to have to answer that question because it's not answerable. So we do a golf tournament. This is our second annual one. It's going to be on the 20th of September, and it's going to be at the Ritter Country Club, and the benefit dinner will be here at this hall. We've given out many scholarships. We just helped send the Abington High School cheerleaders to nationals, and we just really want to help get teen suicide program in every middle school and high school in the state, but we're mostly focused on giving things in the South Shore because that's where Michaela was from. But I know I came down from Arlington and I helped get SOS started at my son's middle school, which is Save Our Students and Signs of Suicide. So we're trying to get it just branched out everywhere so everyone is aware that the signs and that. Thank you.
Time flies when you're having fun. I was going to say something, I forgot now. Steve Chili from the Adams Brothers Memorial Trust is next. Oh, I remember what I was going to say, Steve. I'm going to leave you standing there for a minute. Those of you home watching this on TV and those of you in the room here, seems like there's an awful lot of people coming up here to speak. I want to assure you, this is not everybody in town who does service projects. Just quick look around the room, I don't see anybody from Sage, I don't see Nancy Reed, she wasn't feeling well today. I don't see the Prawl family, just to name a few off the top of my head. Please, support your local charities. There are tons of us out there, we're all looking for help. Steve, your turn.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the Lions Club for putting this all together. This is a fabulous event that we can all get up and speak. We can all see each other, like Christy alluded to. So I want to thank you for your time as well. My name is Steve Tilley, and I put together the Adams Brothers Memorial Trust with a couple of friends of mine, Leanne Adams and also John Stevenson. And what we do is, I'll just read you this, and then I'll talk about the golf tournament that we have in, we're in competition on the 15th as well. So very tight-knit community. We all stick together and we all want to do things in the same days, apparently. That's great. So Michael, Robert, and Jeffrey Adams are 3 of 5 brothers who grew up in Abington, Massachusetts. Over the course of 8 years, the 3 young men in their 20s passed away. The cause was found to be a shared genetic disorder called X-linked lymphoproliferative disease called XLP. I knew I wouldn't be able to get through that word. This rare disease attacks the immune system and it leaves the body vulnerable to the Epstein-Barr virus, infectious mononucleosis, and increased risk of lymphoma. To honor the memories of Mike, Rob, and Jeff, the Adams Brothers Memorial Trust was established at the Abington High School, where they each proudly graduated. Since its inception, the Trust has provided over 30 graduating seniors with scholarships. In addition to the high school scholarships, the Trust also donates to such causes as Dana-Farber, the Jimmy Fund, and supports several local endeavors in and around Abington. And to ensure the Trust's success, a group of friends meet regularly. We organize the Adams Brothers Memorial Golf Tournament, which is our primary fundraiser. And that's at Easton Country Club, 8 o'clock in the morning on September 15th. We also make donations locally in Abington to the Abington Food Bank. We've made several donations. The Giving Tree Committee, I believe that's here at St. Bridget's. We've had purchased Dunkin' Donuts gift cards for the senior centers. So we do keep all the money right here in Abington, and your donation is tax deductible. We do have a tax ID number. And you can visit us at www.adamsbrothers.org, and we do have sign-up sheets available for the golf tournament. Thank you very much.
Good luck on the 15th, Steve. Teresa Noble for the Cub Scout Pack 11 is our next speaker. Oh, Dan's going to speak. He wrote his name as Teresa. And ironically enough, right after Teresa/Dan Noble is Chris Schultz and Aaron Christian to speak about the Boy Scouts. Good luck.
I want to thank everybody for coming out. I represent the Abington Pack 11 Cub Scouts. There's a lot of things we're teaching the boys. I'm just going to run through my quick list. We have citizenship, compassion, cooperation, courage, faith, health, fitness, honesty, perseverance, positive attitude, resourcefulness, respect, and responsibility. All lofty goals to teach young kids, 1st to 5th grade. Ironically, it costs money to do that. It really does. These little beads I wear, these are my PhD in scouting, right? Unofficially, these are my PhD in scouting. Pack 11 paid for me to go to a course of 2 3-day weekends and an 18-month trial period to earn these. These help me help my kids. We do our fundraising. We've been doing the belts for the Scouts. Has anybody seen that yet? Gone to that wrestling show? Go. It's a blast. Laugh right, beginning to end. We do that's one of our fundraisers. We have a candy sale once or twice a year. All the money we raise goes to the kids, supplies for their arts and crafts, offset costs for trips, camping. We just came back from a weekend with the rain. We had a blast in the rain. Because kids have fun in the rain, believe it or not, I can help them do that. The last big thing we did, we had an overnight camp at the Museum of Science. They slept in the shadow of a dinosaur, and they thought that was pretty cool. That came from a candy sale they did. We raised enough money to offset. We paid for half. The families had to pay the other half, unfortunately. The camping trip we just went through, kids went on the candy sale. They earned credits, and we paid for most of their camp. But we're not big into the fundraising. We'll do our fundraisers when we need to. We're pretty good. Well, I'm here tonight is I'm looking for services to help. The last thing we did the Leadler Field flagpole and memorial stone's been completely redone. The stone was vandalized, it was broken down in different parts, it needed to be repaired. The flagpole fell down. So now there's a brand new flagpole and a restored stone. Yeah, that came out really nice. This year so far, Cub Scout Pack 11 has put in more than 200 hours of community service. These are kids in the 1st and 5th grade putting in hours like this. We do it because it's part of the Cub Scout motto and creed. We do our best. We help other people whenever we can. Though the kids are small, they have big hearts. A lot of the parents will do the heavier work, but the kids are there to encourage their parents to get that work done. They have a lot of fun. We do a lot of different stuff with the kids. We want to take them to all kinds of places. Really? Wow. Once when I watched, that's a little early.
The sundial.
Oh, the sundial. Okay. Yeah, and I gave them a lesson on celestial navigation and reading the stars. So if you have an organization that could use a little help, they're really good at picking up trash. We've gone around to local churches and we clean up their areas. I'm not asking you for money, but if you see us selling candy, buy something. You know? As my son said, girls love Reese's Cups. We sell a lot that way. I have some information over there. If you have kids, grandkids, nephews, nieces, who you like these 12 core values that we're teaching these kids, and I've seen them work. I've seen kids show me that they know what this means, and they do it. So, come join us, help support us. If you need help from us, that's why I'm here, let me know. If we can help, we will. Thank you.
Mr. Noble, somehow you've made me feel underdressed. I love it. Chris Schultz and Aaron Christian. Interesting combination. I can't wait to see this. Following them, we already did Sergeant Vasilian thing. We'll move on to the one after that is Karen Butler for the Council on Aging. You're on deck, Karen.
Good evening, everyone. Just real quick, show of hands. Who was in Scouts as a kid? The reason I ask that is we are not a service organization, like Ellen mentioned earlier with Girl Scouts. What we do in Boy Scouts, which is a program for boys 11 through 18, is build future leaders. These are the kids that someday will be Lions and Masons and Rotarians and other service people. They will be the ones in this community bringing their kids up through the schools. We teach them leadership values and we teach them a love of service for their town. Here in Abington, the troop for the last few years has been doing the Scouting for Food. I'm sure you've all seen the bags on your doors. We do that in conjunction with the Girl Scouts, and we usually collect 6,000 to 8,000 pounds of food every year for the St. Vincent de Paul pantry here in town. The Scouts also do the flags in the cemetery every year to replace all the flags on the veterans' stones. One of the most notable things about Boy Scouts, which kind of sets us apart from a lot of other youth organizations, is we are youth-run. I may be the Scoutmaster, but I'm not the boss. I'm there to guide and advise, and the program is actually run by the boys. So in keeping with that, I'm going to hand it over to Aaron, who is our senior patrol leader.
So Boy Scouts is a fun experience, I know for myself, and what we do say the Scout law all the time, trust me, I know it. And what we say, we do, Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And building upon those things, we build on our future. From those things, we expand on what we do and how we act and how we function, and it makes us better citizens. And in doing so, we also learn, by becoming future leaders, we learn leadership and being leaders in our own community as we grow up, as we grow older, and being members of organizations to be able to help out. As we get into the higher ranks of Scouting, Star, Life, and Eagle, we have to do service projects. And we give back to the community in doing so, and learning the experience on how it's difficult, but yet again, by getting it done, it feels so good to know that you're giving back. And it's something that I love to learn, and I love to feel every time. And I know that everybody who feels the service we get appreciates it, and when we get service just as much, we appreciate it. So I thank you all very much for listening.
They did a great job. Thank you, gentlemen. Karen Butler, you can come on up now for the Council on Aging. And following Karen, 1, 2, 3, we have 5 more in the bucket, folks. We're getting to the end. Gary from the Rotary Club is after Mrs. Butler. Miss Butler.
Thank you. I'm the town coordinator for the Meals on Wheels program. It's a senior program that is consisting mostly of volunteers. We volunteer to deliver Meals on Wheels to seniors and those who have disabilities. I have a wonderful crew that come in Monday through Friday. Anytime I call them for backup, I have no problem. We do get donations from different organizations like you. We have the Boy Scouts come in for the Council on Aging. We have a lot of activities going on in the Senior Center. I didn't really expect to do just Council on Aging, but I guess I'm the only one here, so I'm going to have to. We have a contingency of cribbage players. They come in 3 days a week. They play, they have fun, and they contribute. We are donation self-sustaining organization. And what I have found through my 2 years is that you never know who's going to need these services. We deliver in the fall, we deliver a meal that is put together in the Woodsdale School. Those are the meals that the children have, the same meals that the seniors have. And during the time that we do not have school in session, we have a catering service that is delivered to the Council on Aging, and we deliver them from there. We usually deliver the lunch meal, and it's like about 11 o'clock, and unless something happens, and we have to deliver a little bit later, but we do let our clientele know. It is a very rewarding job. We get to deliver the meals and talk to the seniors. And we talk to the seniors and we're watching, and it's a wellness check. So it's a lot of service for a very small donation. I have people around here in the audience that either are volunteers or have had our services. We have Friends of Abington that put on a luncheon every Tuesday, and it's for a minimal fee of $4. The ladies come in on Monday, they do the cooking, and it is phenomenal. We have a lot of people come in, and we'd love to have any one of you come in and talk for your benefit and ours, and thank you so much.
Well, Gary's making his way to the front of the room. Next after Gary will be Wayne Abington IT. He's long gone. Next will be Jim Coughlin for Hug. Come on, Jim, you're killing us here. After that will be Linda Masabi for the Abington Garden Club. And before I give the microphone to Gary, I just want to say, you all have those question cards on your table. If anybody has any questions they wrote down, please hold them up now. I'd like to ask a couple of Lions to go around and pick them up. All right, it's all up to you, Gary.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate the Lions Club giving us this opportunity to tell you a little bit about Rotary. I've been a member for about 7 years. Some of you probably do not know what Rotary is, so I'm just going to give you a little history on it. Rotary is an international service organization. It is made up of 1.2 million Rotarians in 34,282 clubs worldwide. Rotary was founded in 1905 in Evanston, Illinois, by a fellow named Paul Harris. And what Paul saw back then was the need for businessmen to get together and help the communities. And the term Rotary started because there were 4 members in the original group, and what they did was they rotated the meeting from each one's office. So that's where Rotary started, and it's got an interesting little story. The main focus of Rotary for the past, I can't even remember how many years it has been, but is to work towards the eradication of polio. And I'm not sure if people will be already if you follow that. Bill Gates' foundation has also jumped on board with that. And to this day, they are very, very close to eradicating polio on a worldwide basis. There's just a few cases in some of the countries like Afghanistan and Pakistan that are still out there. But it's been a tremendous feat, and there are millions of people now that have benefited, families and actually individuals who would have caught polio and have been crippled for their lives and now walking. The Abington Rotary Club started in 1943. Its first president was William Robbins. The current president is Ed Mays, and I'm representing him tonight. Our club has 16 active members, another 4 inactive. And our major fundraiser is an auction that we have. It's coming up at the KSC on September 20th, and I would invite you all to come to it. We do have the honor of having a lion as our auctioneer. That's Wayne Smith, and he does a fantastic job. Again, it is our major fundraiser, and we do turn all the money that we raise throughout the year back into the community. We do participate somewhat in international programs, but the majority of the things that we do are done here in Abington. I do have some save the dates cards. If any would like one, I can give you one here before we go out. And I thank you for taking the time to be here tonight and for listening to me. And I'm going to get in under the 3 minutes, it looks like. So.
As most of you probably aren't aware, but until very recently, a Rotarian working with a lion or a lion with a Rotarian was unheard of. I'm very proud of the fact that Abington has overlooked that, and we work together on a regular basis. So thank you very much, Gary. Linda, you're up next, followed by Mike Collada, who's going to finish us off from the St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry. Is Linda still here? Here she is. I have to say, this group totally caught me by surprise. I did not expect you to be joining us tonight. I'm so happy you are. I can't wait to hear what you do.
I speak very quickly, that's what I do. I'm Linda Masati. Okay, there we go.
I'm not starting the clock over.
That's all right, this is only a minute and a half. Anyway, again, I'm Linda Masati, and I am co-president of the Abington Garden Club, and I am here with Ann Colby, she's the other co-president, and Barbara Tower, who is a member of the club. Our club was organized in 1931. It's 83 years old, and we actually have no borders. Anybody from any town can join our club. But what we do is, our club is for the benefit of this town. And the object of our club is to promote, obviously, gardening, and the development of your home gardens, conservation, and community improvement. That said, Abington Garden Club oversees and maintains Butterfly Park and the Charlie Brown Memorial, both on Central Street. Both of those memorials are gifts to the town, and anybody in this town is welcome to use that park, that Butterfly Park. We take care of heaps of stones. If anybody here knows what that is, or does not know what that is at the Abington-Weymouth town line. It's the oldest boundary line in the United States of America. We maintain the Lake Street entrance to Memorial Bridge and also provide centerpieces for the dining room tables at a local nursing home. We do a lot more than that, but I'm just touching base on a few things. We participate in a lot of Abington events in the past. We participated in the Tricentennial Gala and the Christmas House tours, and we continue to be involved whenever we are asked. Our two biggest fundraisers are the annual plant sale in May at Butterfly Park, and the Greens and Craft Fair held in late November at the UCC Church Hall on Washington Street. With those fundraisers, we are able to maintain Butterfly Park and each year award a scholarship to a high school senior. Our club meets on the third Monday of each month. We provide lunch, a speaker, or a workshop, and promote education, entertainment, and fun for anyone who likes to play in the dirt. Our September meeting will be featuring author Arthur Neil Sanders, who will speak about his book, Gardening is Murder. We will have a speaker from the Audubon Society and a field trip during the year, amongst many other things going on. That's just some idea about who we are. We would love to have every one of you join our club. It doesn't matter what type of gardener you are, whether you grow flowers, vegetables, or just enjoy the tranquility of a garden spot, Abington Garden Club welcomes you. I leave you with this thought. Really? Audrey Hepburn once said, and I quote, "To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow," unquote.
Did we only say 86 years?
83 years. That's impressive.
Are there? What are they? Who has a club? The Masons are 105 years. In Abington? Incredible. I picked the ticket already for the door prize. We're going to announce it after we hear about the St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry. And Lion Karen is waiting over there with gobs and gobs of money to share with somebody. The 50, 25, 25 raffle raised, it looks like $230, so we'll let her do the math on how much you get. And Mike, right?
Thank you. Luckily, being last, I have the shortest presentation of all, so will work out. I'm Mike Talat. I'm here representing the St. Vincent de Paul Society and our main charity, the Abington Food Pantry. The Food Pantry was established in 1985 by Bob and Mary Johnson, our first members. From some extra canned goods being distributed at that time, the pantry has grown, adding a box truck, 12 freezers, all types of walk-in refrigerators and walk-in freezers. Set up in supermarket style, the shelves and freezers contain all manner of food items. Fresh fruit, vegetables, and bread are also available. This figure, I don't know if you would know a figure this high for Abington, but the pantry serves over 140 Abington families a month, which is quite a bit. Each month we serve 299 adults, 125 children, 25 seniors, about 400 to 450 individuals. Aside from groceries, we also help with assistance on rent, utility bills, and medical needs. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter meals, as well as Christmas gifts for children in need, are available. This is accomplished with volunteers and donations of food or cash. We've assisted people for the past 29 years and we're going to do so until no longer needed. Our long-range goal is to open the doors on Tuesday night and find no one there. I want to thank the Lions for this meeting and all groups represented, as most have contributed to the success of the food pantry over the years. Thank you.
Are there any other questions out there? I have 3 questions that were submitted. Nobody else has any others. Jeff and Justin, would you mind standing where you are? The microphone on the camera will pick up your answers, but I still need you to say it very loud, please. 2 questions for you. Take that back. There's 3 because somebody scratched one out that I'm going to ask anyway. The first one is about the CPR machine. When does a patient get breaths if the pump is always on?
Essentially what the American Heart Association is recommending now is a whole new version of CPR. Old CPR used to be we would do 30 compressions, 2 ventilations. Now the American Heart Association is recommending, with significant studies and literature to back it, continuous compressions throughout the cardiac arrest until the patient regains a pulse. So for the first 10 minutes of the cardiac arrest, there'll be continuous compressions on the patient. The only interruptions in those compressions is when the paramedic is going to defibrillate the patient to try to shock them out of the lethal heart arrhythmia that they might be in and help them regain a pulse. To answer the question completely, the patient will get an oral pharyngeal airway and a non-rebreathing mask, which is an oxygen mask, and a small airway in their mouth while the machine's running. And the passive is called passive insufflation. As the machine presses down on the chest and releases, it's actually forcing the body to take small little breaths every time it gives a compression. And for about 10 to 15 minutes, your blood gases will remain pretty steady with the machine running and just an oxygen mask. So ventilations are now secondary until that first 10 minutes are over.
Thank you very much. The next question for the firefighters again, Justin. Anybody who has had CPR knows the chance of getting your ribs broken is pretty high. Does this machine eliminate that risk?
I tell my CPR students that if you don't, unfortunately, feel some kind of a crunch or a pop when you do your first couple compressions, you're not pushing hard enough. What ends up happening to a lot of patients who are receiving CPR, and mind you, CPR is an inherently violent procedure. You're essentially compressing the heart between their spine and their sternum. And the first thing to go when you're doing CPR, the first few compressions, is the cartilage along the outside of your sternum. That will break, but it heals. A couple of broken ribs to get your heart beating again is worth the risk, and the machine probably won't minimize a couple of broken ribs. But unfortunately, that's just the nature of CPR and how it is.
Interesting, not the answer I expected. The last question for you, Justin, is how many Lucas devices are needed for the town? Is it one for the town, or one for each station, or one for each vehicle?
We would like to have one for each ambulance. This one that will be, hopefully we can raise the funds for, will be on the primary ambulance, which will
primarily serve the town of Abington, and it'll also affect our surrounding communities also. With changes in staffing and increases in calls, very often we find a Abington ambulance going to surrounding communities to back them up, and likewise they come to Abington to back us up. And so the Lucas device that'll be on the Abington truck will not only benefit Abington, but also towns like Whitman, Rockland, Holbrook, Brockton. So if we could get one front line on the first ambulance out the door, that would be spectacular. The department is close to trying to, hopefully by the late fall, we'll be able to allocate one on our own, but that'll be late fall, and probably for the secondary ambulance. We hope to get one as soon as possible out in the street to make a difference.
Thank you very much, Justin. Good luck with that. I hope we can help in many ways. And there's one last question that somebody submitted, and it's for young Aaron over here. Aaron, from the Boy Scouts, what do you intend to do for your Eagle Scout project? Why don't you come up and get the microphone, because I know your answer already, and it's not short.
Well, for my Eagle project, along with the fact that not the Scout leaders know it yet, I guess I will have to tell them. So my intention is to erect signs, or sign, depending on what it'll take to do. Put up signs that say "Welcome to Abington" on them. Pretty much, when I come into the town, I don't feel invited. I feel like I'm not walking into a town that's so happy. And by having something that kind of preps up the entrance of the town, makes me feel a lot better about my town, about the appearance of my town. More of a beautification project, if you will. So that's pretty much my intention for my Eagle project, but I haven't gotten to that point yet, so I'm not going to worry about it so much. I have other things to worry about right now.
I think somebody has a follow-up question.
It's how many years before you're ready to do Eagle project?
Well, it goes by rank. I've completed the requirements for my life rank. I will have my Scoutmasters conference hopefully next week, and a board review soon after that. And that's the rank before Eagle, so I can start working on Eagle.
Very close. Aaron, I have a suggestion for you. If you happen to look at the Abington MA Lions Facebook page, you'll notice that our profile picture is now "Welcome to Hope Valley." And it has a picture of a sign entering the town with all the service organizations in honor of tonight. We put that up on there, so you can copy it. You have my permission. Look at that, you're all done. Lion Karen, come on over, please. Lion Karen, you sold $230 worth of raffle tickets for the 50-50. That means the winner gets 50% of that, which is $115. The Abington Lions gets $57.50 to go towards our service projects. And the winner gets to choose which charity he wants to give the additional $57.50 to. Do you have a winning ticket with you? You left it over there? Lion Karen is awesome. She was voted by our district Rookie Line of the Year this past year. And she's having so much fun doing it. Why don't you have the Boy Scout pull the ticket, because he's the honest one in the room. Aaron, if you pick your mother's or your father's, you're in trouble. And it's a yellow ticket. 024-6256. Again? Just so you all know, the lady who won the 50-50 raffle is Karen's daughter, Diane. Good job, Aaron. Nothing shady going on here, is there? Congratulations, Diane. I trust you. Yeah, that's the number. Who would you like to give your other half of your money to? The guy down the back's trying to buy a CPR machine. The fire department gets the other half of Diane's money. Congratulations. And you all received, well, before I do the door prize, I have some closing remarks, if you'll indulge me for a moment. We heard from lots of very passionate people this evening. Keep in mind, due to scheduling conflicts, vacations, and other reasons, not every group in town was represented. I think we got more than a healthy sampling. We saw a lot of people doing a lot of good things. I love it. So what are we going to do with this knowledge now? We all know who we are. We've learned a little about each other. In the town of Bridgewater, every service organization around Christmas time gets together, just has Christmas dinner. I would love to have Christmas dinner with all of you this year. That's not why we're here, though. If that happens, that'll be great. I have hopes of just creating a contact list with names, phone numbers, and email address that we can share amongst ourselves. When you all signed in tonight, you all added your email list, your email address and your phone number and your name to that, and I believe there was a box that you checked off if you did not mind us sharing it. And when we say share, we're not selling it to anybody, we're just sharing it with each other so that when we have a project, we can work together and we'll know how to reach you. I'm going to take you up on it, Dan. I know the Scouts will be helping us in October at the Not So Scary Woods. Okay. I would like to get a sense of the meeting tonight, though. We have a few options to us. How many in the room feel that this, or something like this, should occur on a regular basis? How many think it's necessary to have a meeting like this on a regular basis? Show of hands.
What do you mean by regular?
Well, that's the rub right there. I don't think it needs to be done on a regular basis. I did see about 15 or 20 hands came up, though. The alternative, and once a year or even twice a year is a possibility, but we have the calendar now. Wayne showed us this earlier. He's going to give us our own login so that we can coordinate on the calendar. I'm going to email you all the email list and the phone numbers so you'll have your own contacts. I say, I'm putting the ball in your court. It's up to you to continue this without having another meeting like this. If we ever feel it's necessary, the Abington Lions will be more than happy to host another one. I don't think it's necessary. I think the ball is rolling. You guys are all service people. You're all ready to serve. You're all here to serve. I think you'll continue it on your own. I hope you will. I would like to touch quickly on fundraising efforts. I'd like to remind you all, on the behalf of the small business owners in town, remember your fundraising etiquette. When seeking donations, only ask at businesses that you have a connection to. Don't walk into a business that you've never been in and expect them to happily donate to you. We've all made that mistake in the past. Sometimes we got what we wanted, sometimes we got a dirty look. Use etiquette. If you're going to go to somebody asking them for a donation, plan on spending some money in their business also. Try to limit your efforts to within our borders. And most importantly, if you're asking for a donation from a business, keep in mind what's in it for the business. The owners of these businesses are just regular people like you and I who are trying to succeed. They want to help if they're able, but they may not share all of your passions when it comes to your particular charitable event. So be kind, be considerate of their position, and try to help them in return. If that means having dinner at their restaurant once in a while, I can think of worse things that could happen. If that means having your flyers printed here in Abington, rather than at the big box store in Braintree, check the price and see if that is a feasible idea. You will find there are places around town that will do a lot of the work we're sending out already. I'd like to thank you all for coming out this evening. I hope to see you around town soon, and let's all stay in touch. Abington Lions, when I call for a adjournment, I would like to take you to the side of the room for a 5-minute meeting. Kevin, ring the bell on me. The rest of you are welcome to stay. The rest of you are welcome to stay. Kim and the bar will be open as long as you can last. Those leaving right away, please drive safely. Before I do the door prize, everybody who is a speaker tonight, kindly come forward. The Abington Mariner would like to take a picture of us all together. And I'm holding the door prize hostage. Who's going to join me over here? Navigate to the back. Navigate back.
Yeah, because it's the second one.
You're trying to nail with that. Thank you all very much. Now, the door prize. I know you've all been waiting for this. The winner of the door prize on a blue ticket, number 453140. 453. Kevin! An Abington Lion, Kevin, our Cub Lion. He wins an Abington Monopoly game. Congratulations, Kevin. Thank you all very much. Drive safely. Abington Lions, I would love to see you for 2 or 3 minutes, please.
I'm at last minute.